Today's date is October 12th, 2022, and the time is 17:28 p.m. My name is Tlengo Happiness Fega. I'm 20 years of age. I'm from Amanzimtoti, Longe Crest Road, and I am voluntarily participating in creating a project to share with others on the Machikan State University Global Youth Advancement Network website. And I am presently accompanied by the subject of this interview, which is Claude, and we are located at South Beach. Hello there.
Hello.
Firstly, thank you so much for your help in supporting my participation in this project. Do you agree to permit me to record your responses to my further questions?
No, I'm okay with it.
Okay. Please state your home, street address, or other locator, and spell your city, area, province, or village for me.
Actually, I'm from KZN, based in Durban, Pinetown, in Sarnia, on 45 Glenelg Road.
Alright, thank you. Please state your birthday and place of birth, and spell your place of birth.
Actually, I'm born in Congo, DRC, in Kolwezi, the city. And I was born on the 12th of November 1982.
Alright, thank you so much. What do you feel that people living outside South Africa should know about the country?
There's a lot to know about the country. It depends as well how you came in the country and which side of the country are you really staying in. But for people like me who came on a rough side of the country where I had to build up everything from scratch and build my way up. So first thing first, when we're out of the country, we heard about crime, we heard about opportunities, we heard about, all the good and all the bad stuff. So coming here, it was a total different view because, it wasn't as bad as we heard. Opportunity wise, yes, there's a lot of opportunity which we do not have, where I come from. So that's exactly what it is.
Well, thank you so much for that powerful answer. Furthermore, I'll be sharing Mandela's metaphor with you. Then afterwards, I'll ask you a question. Hope you're ready. So here it goes. In 1994, Nelson Mandela began his presidency by saying to his people, to all South Africans, that we are each intimately attached to the soil of the country, like the roots of jacaranda trees of Pretoria and the mimosa trees of the bushveld. At that time, he was using symbolism to convey something about South Africa, perhaps related to its past, to its present, or to its future. He never explained it further. So here's the question. What do you think he meant for others to understand from that metaphor?
Would you please read the metaphor for me?
It says, we are each intimately attached to the soil of the country, like the roots of jacaranda trees of Pretoria and the mimosa trees of the bushveld.
All right. Remember, this is all a metaphor. So a metaphor can be interpreted in a different way, depending also how you look at it.
Yeah.
And based on what I see, as South African or as people actually connected to the soil as branches of a tree, the simple way we can put this message would be to stay united, because that's probably one of the message that he wanted us to know and to learn and to stay with. So remember, South Africa is a big country. There's a different tribe, people from different cities and people with different languages and
cultures.
Exactly, cultures. So the message was simple. It just say stay together, stay united. It doesn't really matter what we go through, and sometimes we get distracted, end up being misunderstood or fighting for reason that not really based. So stay together, stay united. That's as easy I could actually say that.
Wow. And maybe in addition, we should remember that this is a rainbow nation, so it's for everyone who lives in it.
Definitely.
Moreover, I have my own soul-related metaphor to share with you that symbolizes an aspect of South Africa that I feel is important. I feel that it connects with the experience of your life and others like you who have or had similar experiences. So here it is. Through the connection made with the soul, you can be able to interpret how past human action impact the present and be able to look at how it will affect the future. Alright. With your own understanding of Mandela's symbolism and that of my own symbolism, what is the story from your life, sorry for the correction, from your life that you would like to share with others?
Hey, well, a story of my life. Now, based on your question, I'd probably say if I have to share a story, it would be a story of me coming to this country. 2005, right? And the reason why I came to South Africa wasn't to actually stay in South Africa. I was actually supposed to pass by. I was going to the US actually to join some of my family members. But when we came here, the process of traveling, getting the visa, sorting out the passports didn't go according to the plan. So we actually decided to stay in the country because it was actually time consuming, and we actually spent like over 2 years just to get everything sorted, but didn't really work. So then decided to stay. So my stay here, firstly, I had to find a job because I had to pay rent. My first job actually was a security guard. So I was a security guard, but I didn't even get the job as a security guard. I actually got it by force. So actually, a friend of mine, actually, an uncle of mine told me that actually there was a security position actually opening. But when I went to the offices where he directed me to, the position was already taken. So I found a security guard actually on site on that day. But I told the security guard, actually, the inspector actually asked me to tell the guy to actually go and see him. So the guy actually left his post because I came with a message of the inspector, but the inspector never told me actually to do that. Then he left. Then I was on site. Then there was a guy actually was patrolling actually to check in that everybody was on site and working. When he found me there, then he realized actually my English was better than the guy actually that was working on site. So he actually said, fine, we're gonna actually find you another site. So they found me another site, then I started working there. But remember as well, I came to South Africa without really knowing how to speak English correctly. So I had only probably say 20% of, not even 20%, I said 10%. I knew how to greet, how to say bye and ask a few questions. That's the only thing I knew. And what I did is I took few English courses. That was actually free English courses at Eddington Primary School. So they're more like evening classes where a lot of foreigners go and take their classes over there. And beside that, so I was actually working as security guard at night. But at night I wasn't just sleeping. So I had a dictionary with me. I had books that I used to read just to better up my English. So that's how I actually learned my English, in the middle of the night, every night, reading dictionary, reading books, and then searching and trying to understand the word, listening to music, printing out lyrics, and then going through word and through sentences, and then understanding what the song says, and at the same time learning English that way. So I spent I spent like 6 months working as security guard. Then I realized actually it wasn't for me. And how did I realize that it wasn't for me? Actually, I was sent to a site in Tongat by an inspector, and he said we're gonna be there for a night and he's gonna pick up the next day. But what happened is he actually left us there for 4 days. Lucky I had actually some cash with me, so I actually survived on bread and cream soda for 4 days. And when I call the inspector all the time, he's like, I'm coming, but he never showed up. 4 days. And then the 5th day, I'm like, you know what? If he doesn't show up the following day, I told the guy that I was actually working with on site, I'm like, hey, I'm going to be leaving the next day if he doesn't show up. The following day, inspector never showed up. I'm like, cool. I'm packing my bag. So I actually just found out around people like, hey, because I didn't even know how to get back to Durban because I was still new in the country. Then I'm like, hey, cool. So I just asked question like, hey, how do I get back to Durban? I say you need to go to Tonga Town, go to Gateway, then Gateway, take a taxi back to Durban. So that was the first time I actually quit my job as a security guy. So I actually stopped working as security. And then when the inspector found out that actually I wasn't on site, then he called me like, hey Claude, what's happening? Where are you? I'm like, nah, I'm in town. They're like, why you not on site? I'm like, yeah, you're supposed to pick us up like 4 days ago. I'm like, what's up? And like, no, I'm actually supposed to be coming here to pick you up this morning. I'm like, no, don't stress up. I'm not gonna come back to work. It's like, you're gonna get fired. I'm like, don't stress up, inspector. I'm done. I quit. That's how I quit the job. because I knew actually as I was working for those 6 months, so I had some savings on the side, so I knew I could actually save up rent money for 2 months and then find a better job. So that's what I did. Because a friend of mine told me, actually, you know, there is a lady in Morningside, Lorraine. I still remember, she was a whole lady. She used to train waiters. So my friend told me, like, if you can work as a waiter, you can actually make good money. Then I decided, hey,
because there are tips there.
Yeah, you make some tips and you got some salary as well at the same time.
Yeah.
So then the money that I had back in the day was like 250 for the training. It was a 1-day training, and then you write a text. If you pass the test, she's gonna organize you some interview in a random restaurant, so you can just find a place to actually work. So what we did, we paid the 250. We did the training, but English was still crazy because the trays, the wine opener, all those things was just like new stuff to us. You know what I mean? I come to a place, like from a country where there's no, such. So we did the training, study, and then after that, we wrote the test. We failed the test because English was just bad.
Yeah.
It was difficult. And then Lorraine told us, hey guys, I like your attitude, guys, but your English, you really need to work on this. But she said, fine, I'll organize you an interview with Daniel from Circus Circus. Actually, Daniel was one of the GM at Circus Circus. So she set us up for an interview. We went for the interview. She told us the type of question get asked on interviews. Like, cool. We memorized the question. We got there. Daniel, I say, guys, how are you? We did the interview. He said, I like you guys. You can come tomorrow and start training.
Wow.
Then we started training. We trained for 1 day, and then the owner, who was actually as well the general manager of Circus Circus, when he came, he saw us working as like, hey, these guys that they don't know English, what are they doing on the floor here? Get rid of them.
Just like that.
Just like that. And then the second day, Daniel called us in the smoking area in the restaurant and told us, guys, I was with Sean. Sean said this and this, guys. I'm sorry, you gotta go. So back to scratch 1-0, no job. But it wasn't all. At least we did the training, so we knew interview questions. We knew what to say when we're looking for a job because we did the training. So what we did now, so we say, okay, tomorrow we're gonna go look for a job ourselves now. So we started actually scrubbing from Suncoast Casino to Ushaka Marine. So every restaurant from Suncoast Casino to Ushaka Marine, we've knocked all the doors, nothing left. Everybody. So we had our CV printed, everything. So like, hey guys, my name is this is what I'm here for. I'm looking for a job. Some places they say, no, come back on Monday. Some places, no, there's no spots. Some places say come back after a week or come December. So it was fun. So we went through all the restaurants until we get to Ushaka Marine.
Wow.
We get a Spur at Ushaka Marine. Then at Spur, when we were there, the manager say, guys, you're looking for a job, cool, no problem. There's a takeaway menu. Go home and memorize and learn this. Tomorrow you come back and write a test. If you pass the test, you'll be doing your training. Cool, no problem. So we went home. English was so difficult, remember? So we studied the menu, trying to memorize whatever we could. Yeah, we did that. And then the following day, went write the test. Wrote the test for 30 minutes. Done. And then the pass mark was 60%. Guess how many percent we did? Because it was me and my friend Alain, actually. I didn't introduce him yet. My friend Alain. So we're like, the pass mark was 60%. We did 35%. So we failed again because of English.
Yeah.
Then we're like, okay, that's not a problem. So as we were leaving the restaurant, there was this lady waitress by the door. She's like, hey guys, where you from? We're like, no, from Congo. Oh, come on guys, why you never told me that you're actually from Congo? You know what, I could actually help you with the test. I mean the question for the test. So she asked us to come back the following day again, because the manager who actually tested us that day was supposed to be off the following day, and there's gonna be a general manager will be there tomorrow. So come back like we never been there again and ask for the job again. So we did that. Went back the following day like we never been there before. Yeah. And we asked for the job. They didn't recognize you. No, some of the waiters recognized us, but we just kept our cool. And then like, hey, then the general manager like, guys, there you go, this takeaway menu. Go and study this. Come back the following day. Same process. And then we went home, so we knew the questions, and we had the menu, so we knew what they're gonna ask there. So we had everything on lock. The following day, went back, wrote the test, 100%. Booyah! Oh. And then that's what happened, sir. And that's what happened. And then training, We trained for like 1 month
without getting paid.
without getting paid.
Wow.
So remember that I had my savings as well
Yeah,
for my rent, so I got 2 months
for
covered.
2 months. Yeah.
So that's how I did my training. I'm like, that was a do or die situation, because I was like, there's no way I'm going back to being a security guard anymore. So I was actually like doing the training at night. So I'll sleep. I get home around 8 after my training day. I sleep till 12. I wake up at 12 in the middle of the night when everybody. Remember actually what I was staying. I was staying with my cousins, my uncle. We were actually sharing a room, like one room, all of us, because we're actually still new in the country. You know, it was like difficult conditions. So in the middle of the night, instead of waking up everybody, so what I'll do, I just take the chair, go out in how you call in the passage in the building, because there was actually some building like a lot of people. So I just put, because there's lights in the building. I'll sit there, I take the training manual that they gave us at Spur, start studying it midnight till 6 in the morning every day for that 1 month, because there's no way I was going back to being in security. And at the same time, I was actually reading the dictionary, trying to understand. So I actually did my own research even more on food, on how to serve people. So I was actually becoming more knowledgeable about the industry as well. So that's what I did. And after that, we finished that 1 month. They say, guys, I think we are ready actually to get you on the floor. We got on the floor, and then booyah. So my first table, I remember when I was serving, my first table was an 8-seat. I still remember to this day. It was actually a breakfast, and it was like big guys. They ordered the breakfast. I really messed up the breakfast. So I ordered all the wrong things. All the breakfasts were coming with spinach and butternut when they're not supposed to be like that. So it was like really crazy. All right, so from Spur, I actually ended up moving into different restaurants and, you know, kind of like grow into the service industry. At the same time as I was actually working, I remember one of the places that actually changed the trajectory of my life was the restaurant in Pavilion called Santa Cote. I met a student actually she was a girlfriend of mine, and then she kind of like told me, Claude, you're actually very intelligent. You should go back to school and actually study. And then she told me actually, then I was like, no, as foreigners, it's difficult for you to apply for university. She's like, no, actually I have a lot of foreigner friends on campus, just like you, they actually study. Then she kind of like opened my eye to that. And then I'm like, you know what, let me actually try to register for university. Then I registered. Actually, I went through the process of registration. Now, you know, through the process, I ended up breaking up with her, and then because of a different long story. But I still carry on with the idea. Actually, the seed she put on my mind, she said, hey, you need to study. Then I actually registered for computer science, and I did a 2 years comp science. But, you know, remember, comp science is also difficult because nobody was paying for my school fees. I had to pay for my own school fees myself. At the same time, so I was doing comp science and still working in a restaurant at the same time. So it was crazy, it was difficult, and I ended up messing up some of my modules. I had to redo a year, and then it was difficult to pay for school fees because actually as I was staying on campus by Varsity Drive. So I bought myself a motorbike, and I was going to work in the evening. So after class, ride a bike to the restaurant, work, and then after work, right back. So then I end up what happened is there was a year actually where I lost my bike. Actually, my bike got stolen in Gateway. And I was on campus. So the fact that I had to travel, it just messed it up. And then I was struggling with school. My bike got stolen. Then I end up stopping the classes, and then at the register with campus. And yeah, so I actually gained like a lot of knowledge when it comes to technology, comp science, computers, and then I couldn't really afford to go back to school since I was owing the university as well at the same time. So I ended up actually like self-teaching myself like on the rest of technology. Let's say doing programming. I learned that myself. Building websites, I learned that myself. Digital stuff, I learned that myself. Photography, videography. Actually, every program I actually took my time actually to study every single program and build myself based on the gift that I have. Like mostly I say visual gift. And yeah, I'm building a business, approaching brand, doing videos, doing photos, doing digital marketing, building websites, and business identity design as well at the same time. Forgot to mention as well that I took a short course with Keyline Graphic. So that was a very, very short course, and that happened after the register with campus. So I had to take something that will actually help me as well build brand. So because I realized I have visual gifts, but I do not know how to use a program like Adobe program. So I found out there was actually a college called Keyline where I actually took the classes. It were short courses. I finished the courses first in my class because it was a do or die situation again, where I'm like, you know what, I need to really, really start being in the restaurant industry. So I was actually taking go to the restaurant. The class I was actually in the evening. So I go in the morning to the restaurant, finish up at 3, and then by 4:30 I'm at school taking classes till 8, and it was every day. And remember that every class builds up on the previous one every day. So there was no way I could actually miss a class, and there was no way I'm gonna go to bed without reviewing everything we did that day. So for that period of time, I was actually go to the restaurant, go to class in the evening, get home 9 to 12 and study. And then what happened as well, so since I didn't have the energy to actually do that, so every little single day I had to buy a can of Monster that I'm gonna use for 2 days. So I'll drink off of the can today, and I'm gonna use the rest of the can the following day. So just to have that energy in between 9 and 12 to be sharp and review all my courses. So that was my lifestyle for that period. I was actually taking the short course. And then when I was done with it, actually the college Keyline organized me a job at a printing company in Umbilo as a graphic designer. I worked there for 2 weeks. Then I quit.
Why?
Because the salary wasn't enough for me. I didn't want to be sitting on a bench and sitting in front of the screen for Monday to Saturday from 7 till 5:05 every day. So you only see the sunrise and the sunset, and the only time you get to see the full day out will be on a Sunday. And salary wise, now I was like, you know what, I work in a restaurant, I make more than 5,000. So why not be in a restaurant and trying to build business that way, and then work for myself? Because I kind of got the idea, okay, so this is how print company work, this is the graphic work that you do. I could actually approach people to do the same work and still make good money out of it. So yeah,
that was very interesting, very emotional. Very emotional, trust me.
All right.
And what I've learned is that knowledge is power.
It is.
And with if you're a person who's a hard worker, consistent, know what you're doing, knowing your background, I think there's nothing on earth that can stop you. Because from being a security guard to being a waitress in different restaurants, having sleepless nights, and going to varsity, from varsity to where you are now, it's a long run. It just needs you to be patient, consistent, and building yourself, with knowledge and everything. So down to the last question.
Okay.
So here it goes. What do you want your fellow South Africans to be able to understand better about other people who are like you, and about South Africa's past, present, or future from your story?
I'll say, as South African, coming to a country like this, we all come here because of the opportunity that the country offers. Because if we had a better life back home, we wouldn't be here. And it doesn't mean that we come here to steal jobs or steal this and all that. It's just that we see the potential, we see the opportunities that the country has to offer. But while South African themselves, they have it, but they don't really take advantage of all of it. It's like how can I say? I'm not gonna say take it for granted, but they just don't use the full of South Africa the way they should. I probably say if they can travel away from the country or go outside the country, like go to places like Zambia, or go out of the country and then come back, they're probably gonna learn and see South Africa itself in a different eye, and should be able to maybe take advantage of all these opportunities that the country has to offer. So that's what I had to say.
All right, thank you so much again for helping us and supporting us in this participation of this project. I think whoever will be listening to this audio will be much more motivated than I am, much more inspired.
Oh, thank you.
Than I am. So
thank you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity and this day.
Thank you very much. Thank you.